All right, everybody, welcome back to the show, baby. Welcome back to the show. This is the Rock and Roll Rebel Show, where we give you that real news and not that fake news. All these opinions are real. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to lead anybody astray or anything like that. We just want to make sure the people are awake, and that's what we're going to keep on doing here. I do appreciate it. We're out killing it lately. We're killing it like Caitlin Clark, not going to the Olympics type killing it. I appreciate everybody who loved that short, followed along, all the new subs. Thank you. And today we're going to talk about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, I guess a new video came out. I don't know how it came out, why it came out, but it did come out. So I guess Nancy Pelosi's basically admitting on camera that she was responsible for January 6th. So I don't know what any of this means. I mean, they tried to say Trump didn't want to bring in the National Guard. He did try to bring in the National Guard. The whole January 6th thing just is, I got an old video on it with like the pipe bombs and the FBI and all that involved, and it just seems like one big setup. And I guess the American people are waking up because you got everybody, I guess, is voting for Trump this year, it seems like. But are they going to try to steal the election? Of course they will. Of course they will. They're going to try to do anything they can to make sure Trump doesn't get in office because I guess they're paranoid. They're thinking Trump's going to put them in gulags and all that, but Trump said he's not. You know what I'm saying? What I need from some of these Republican attorney generals and all that, I need them to start bringing cases against people. Why is it only Democrats bringing stuff against people? Like Steve Bannon and all them that are going down, Peter Navarro. I mean, anybody that has been associated with Trump is all going to jail or they're trying to throw cases on them, but nothing. So I guess everybody's scared of the deep state. You know what I'm saying? It runs deep for a reason. So you got to protect yourselves at all times. This is the jungle, baby. This is the jungle. So, and the border is wide open. The border is wide open. Do not forget, the Sean Ryan has Superbad on. She was a former CIA agent. I don't want to say her name because YouTube sort of censors her, but her CIA name was Superbad. So if you search Sean Ryan Superbad or just the Sean Ryan podcast in general, it's a great one. He dives deep on everything. And she's talking about the southern border and how all these people are coming over, and we know it's all coming over, but they're not all good people. They're not all just here to come to America and do good stuff. They're not. There's a lot of people in here that are ready to harm America. And I don't know when this is going to be unleashed. So it's it's like a boiling pot of water. You know what I'm saying? It's just simmering right now. You know what I'm saying? But the burner's not up full blast. The burner got full blast on 2020 with the riots with the BLMs and all that stuff. Even the election had the vans rolling in. They changed all the laws. So we got to protect ourselves. The COVID stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're putting Steve Bannon in jail, but Hunter Biden, he walked right out of Congress. So, I mean, it's the two tiers. The big Hunter Biden trial, the jury is in deliberation right now. I don't think he's going to come back guilty. I don't think he's going to come back guilty. He should come back guilty on all three counts, but he's not because he's Hunter Biden. And I'm not for the whole ticky-tacky thing anyway. But, I mean, if they started the war, I like to finish it. So they went after Trump. Let's get Hunter. Put Hunter in jail. You know what I'm saying? An eye for an eye. We want Hunter in jail, but it's not going to happen. Of course, it's not going to happen. He'll be found not guilty or something's going to happen as always. But I wanted to get into this whole Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi even had to go on MSNBC to explain herself, talking about how we're trying to rewrite history. But we're not rewriting no history, Nancy Pelosi. We're on to you. And why is she still running? Nancy Pelosi is so old. She's in her 80s. She should just enjoy it. She's looking worse than Joe Biden. I guess Joe Biden, they were at some festival today for African Americans, black people, I guess. And Joe Biden does not move. Let me pull this clip up because I thought this clip was fascinating. Then we're going to get into this whole Nancy Pelosi confession on January 6th. It looks like she's being rushed out of the Capitol. And it's probably her Netflix stuff. So that maybe there was a leaker over in Netflix. But this is wild right here. Let me just see. This was just a few hours ago. Joe Biden was at a festival. I don't think I could play the music, but we might play the music anyway. But here's Joe Biden. Here's Joe Biden. And he's at a festival, and they're trying to enjoy themselves, right? Trying to enjoy themselves. Let me pull this up because I thought this was completely out of bounds for Joe Biden. Joe Biden does not move. And I'm not setting this up for like clickbait or anything like that, but Joe Biden does not move. Right here is Joe Biden. Let's pull this up. Here's Joe Biden. Look at this. Tell me about this. This is our boy. This is our president. All right, let's let this play. As you can see, he's dancing. And he's not even moving. Look at him. He's not even moving. Everybody else is grooving. Doug's out there doing finger guns to Kamala. It's just, it's wild. Look at that. They sell. He hasn't moved once. He hasn't moved once. What's he doing? He's about to cough. He's saying something. It looks like, oh, he gave him a fake dap up. Gave him the fake brother dap. Oh, my. That's our president. He can't even do anything, bro. He's gassed out. He's gassed out. So gassed out. What you think, Chad? Tell me the chat. I don't have my live feed up, so I don't know what y'all saying. I'm sorry about that. I forgot my phone, so I can't pull it up. I need a producer. So, but let's get into this whole Nancy Pelosi thing right here. I want to get down to the Nancy Pelosi thing, and here's her confession, basically how she feels in charge. And then remember, Trump told us that and all that, but we'll get into that. But here's Nancy Pelosi. She's like in a full-blown panic. She's in a full-blown panic mode now right here. Let's pull this up. And I just can't believe that she's admitting it on tape.
We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
She's covering herself.
That they had sufficient resources.
That is not a question of how they had. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have.
I guess Terry's her daughter, I guess, right? But she's saying she was responsible, and she's wondering about the National Guard. Trump called about the National Guard. And she turned it down. So that's what I'm saying. They all knew it was there. That's why the pipe bombs are out there. They didn't explode. That was more of a distraction. Everything was a distraction because to stop the Steele rally was going to uncover all the, like the shady stuff, the 3 a.m. vans pulling up, dropping off ballots and stuff like that. But then all that got turned around into the insurrection. You know what I'm saying? So we weren't thinking, now that everybody's not thinking about why everybody's there at the Capitol. They're just like, oh, they just stormed it. You know what I'm saying? And they changed the story on us. They got the smoke and mirrors out there. They don't talk about stop the steal no more. You know what I'm saying? But we still do here, definitely. We still do here. And that's why we want you to make sure you like and sub up, baby. Like and sub up. We got to spread the word. But Nancy Pelosi is in such a panic that she had to go on MSNBC to explain how she wasn't responsible and how it was Donald Trump. So let's pull this up and see how she's going to backtrack on that. Because right here, we saw the words that just came out of her mouth on January 6th that she was responsible for not calling the National Guard.
Why do you think this is stirred up and a brouhaha on the right and in some corners of the media today?
Well, because of the fact is that the President of the United States, the former president, and his toadies do not want to face the facts. And I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. They're trying to do revisionist history on January 6th. And I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. But we cannot let us be dragged into their, again, false impression of what happened that day. They know what happened that day. And I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. They know how serious it is and was and continues to have an impact on our country. And yet they want to call the people who were in there hostages. Last night I received the Lincoln Award. I was so proud of receiving that. And I said in my remarks, Lincoln built the dome on the Capitol. He insisted that it be built during the Civil War so that it could show the resilience of America.
Yeah,
and to see these people coming through the Capitol with their foul deeds and foul actions, waving Confederate flags and Nazi flags under Lincoln's dome was so shameful. And yet this president who incited this former president.
The one dude was a plant. He was a Democrat. The one that was waving the big Confederate flag that was in there. He was a Democrat. He was a plant. You can easily debunk that.
President who incited this insurrection would not send the National Guard for hours.
And I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for war.
Nancy.
People were harmed. People were killed, but died one way or another.
And I take responsibility for not
Nancy.
having them just prepare for war.
And what did he do but try to deny that any of it happened? This is a terrible thing, but let us not take away the attention of what we need to do to go forward. We have to unify our country. We have to bring people together in a way that honors the vision of our founders, the sacrifice of our men and women in uniform, as well as the aspirations of our children. I just came back from D-Day in Normandy to see our veterans there.
I didn't see her
the 80th anniversary of it. Some of the youngest of them were 97, some over 100. They fought for our freedom, and yet you see how it is being denigrated.
Nancy's probably old enough to serve in World War II, but she didn't know, right? Quite not. Yeah, it's a little young.
By the former president and his Republican toadies.
And I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for war.
And that's 100% right. So Nancy's right there. She's confessing. She did it. She's confessing. What do you think about that? I think we all knew it. She was in charge. They were in charge of the security of the Capitol. Her and, Schumer? They were in charge of it. They didn't want to do it. They knew what they were doing. They couldn't have the National Guard there because they needed the breach. They couldn't have, when Trump went out there and killed it at a speech, more people than ever were there. And then they wanted to go down to protest, but then remember Ray Epps was out there agitating people up. There was also Antifa people in there. The one guy from CNN when they killed that young lady. So you got to understand that it's all one big smoke and mirrors. And I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's like classified documents. Why is stuff for 9/11 classified? Everything should be unclassified, but there's stuff classified about it. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff classified about January 6th. You know what I'm saying? The cameras, the camera feeds, all classified. I want the camera feeds from the day before. I want the camera feeds 2 days before. I want the camera feeds of the day. But no, you don't see none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll disrupt everything. It'll disrupt everything, and that gets people upset. But here's President Trump to remind you what he said, and they gave all the pushback on him. He came out and told you what he wanted to do on January 6th, but they did not listen.
I don't have. Why would I tell you that? Listen, Nancy Pelosi was in charge of security. She turned down 10,000 soldiers. If she didn't turn down the soldiers, you wouldn't have had January 6th.
Did you call military or law enforcement?
What?
Did you call military or law enforcement at the moment the Capitol was under attack?
I'm not going to tell you anything. Let me put it this way. I behaved so well. I did such a good job. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 soldiers. If she didn't do that,
but
and now
Nancy
I understand.
Pelosi doesn't have the
I
authority
understand
that
the
you
police
have as commander-in-chief, though.
Listen to me, Kristen. Listen to me. I understand that the police testified against her, the chief very strongly against her. Capitol Police, great people. They testified against her, and they burned all the evidence. They burned all the evidence. They destroyed all the evidence about Nancy Pelosi.
What do you say to people who wonder why you as commander-in-chief, you have authorities that Nancy Pelosi doesn't have as commander-in-chief?
No, she has authority over the
Why didn't you
Capitol.
send help in that moment, though?
Frankly, just so you understand, I assumed that she took care of it. She turned down.
So when you realized that the National Guard wasn't coming?
Well, you don't realize anything until quite a while. National Guard not coming. I asked it to be there 3 days in advance, and she turned it down.
She says that request was never officially made.
Oh,
just
stop
so
it.
you know.
Let me just tell you.
Let me ask you
The
about
mayor of
pardons,
let me
Mr.
tell
President.
You see how they do our boy
The
Trump?
mayor of D.C. gave us a
Mayor
letter
Bowser
saying that she turns it down. Okay, we have it. Nancy Pelosi also was asked, and she turned it down. The police commissioner
I'm talking about
of
the
Capitol
day of,
Police,
though.
wait a minute.
Yep.
Capitol Police said that he wanted it, and Nancy Pelosi wouldn't accept it. She's responsible for January 6th.
Mr. President.
Nancy Pelosi's responsible.
Mr.
And
President,
the
you're the
J6
president,
committee
though. You
refused to interview
You have
her.
authorities that no one else has as the commander-in-chief. Do you think you showed leadership on that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. But you saw Nancy Pelosi just a few minutes ago telling you that she was responsible. National Guard. So she knew what was up. And that tape, her daughter was there filming the Netflix special. It was all planned. It was all planned. You know what I'm saying? They're all out here trying to fool us. And that's why everybody's voting for Trump. Right here in South Carolina, we had the big country fest in South Carolina. Let me show you the highlights of this. I don't know why they brought out Nikki Haley and she didn't get booed, but she led like a Trump chant. So I thought this was very interesting. Let's play this. You know what I'm saying? So this is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the Country Fest. Why is the volume on? Lieutenant Governor. That's the Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina. Excuse me. I thought that was Nikki Haley. Look, she got a Nikki Haley body. Excuse me. No, that's the Lieutenant Governor. That's my Lieutenant Governor. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we're doing out here. That's what we're doing out here. We're trying to give you the real news, baby. We just want to give you the real news. We want to stay safe. We want to raise a place where our grandkids and our great grandkids and everybody can get along. So like and sub up, baby. Like and sub up. The Rock and Roll Rebel Show is out of here, baby. Thank you for tuning in. It's peace and love. God bless you, and I will see you all mañana, baby.